take on 7.2. Let's go ahead and take that on. Consideration of an internal ad hoc committee to review recommendations of the Lake Countywide Community Visioning Forum Planning Committee, and Mr. Rothstein.
Good morning, Supervisors. Matthew Rothstein, Chief Deputy County Administrative Officer. On Tuesday, June 18, 2024, your board received the final report of the Lake Countywide Community Visioning Forum Planning Committee and directed staff to return today with a recommendation for an ad hoc committee to review the committee's internal and community-facing recommendations, which were found on numbered page 18 of the Lake Countywide Community Visioning Forum Planning Committee's final report. For this short-term purpose, staff recommends your board authorize an internal ad hoc committee comprised of the following: the county administrative officer or her designee, the human resources director or her designee, and the health services director or his designee. And as you will appreciate, keeping committee membership small does not preclude staff from seeking additional perspective as needed, and any recommendations reached by this internal ad hoc will be brought to your board in open session. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you very much for bringing this back. Any comments or questions? Supervisor Green?
Just want to give thanks again to Mr. Rothstein for all his hard work during the visioning planning committee process, and the recommendations that come of that process were fairly numerous, involving both county-facing issues and external issues. I think this is a great first step toward clarifying some of the county issues we could tackle. And as you stated, nothing in this initial ad hoc would preclude refining it as needed as we go down that road. So very supportive of this.
Thank you. Supervisor Pyska?
And I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to talk to you beforehand, but I was just wondering about the rationale for the health director, and when we also have behavioral health and social service issues that maybe we'd like to hold into, and maybe that's something we can get to later and just get this going with just the health director. So I just wanted to hear on how you selected that position.
Yes, so as you may be aware, the Health Services Department does have a permanent position allocation that is primarily focused on health equity. Okay. So that is unique to that department. That's why we have a member anticipated from that department for the formal committee at this initial step, and certainly we'll be consulting with those others you raised as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that. I do have a question for both Vice Chair Crandall and Supervisor Green. You guys were on the visioning committee in the first place. Wondering if there's any will or want to continue to be involved in the conversation that eventually does bring back the recommendations to the Board of Supervisors. My thought process is adding some supervisors to this list of the committee. Right now it's just staff, but I think that us representing the people of Lake County who have elected us in these positions, and that visioning forum being very much about our communities, not just our internal, because there was internal and external recommendations. Just kind of wondering what your thoughts are of joining this committee, or if there's would rather not.
I'm okay with staff's recommendation. I never find myself lacking opportunity to provide input. Sometimes I run into process, but where there's a will, there's a way. And obviously, I'm on my way out. So just for continuity's sake, if we did appoint a soup, I would probably throw EJ under the bus. But I'm very confident that Deputy CAO Rothstein and the delegates that are probably going to emerge out of this initial task force are going to have their hands full, if only because EJ and I were there basically for the full process that created the recommendations, and now having some fresh eyes on those recommendations and then bringing it back to the board seems to me to be a good first step. And I think if those initial discussions point out a need for additional departments to get involved or a supervisor to sit in, I think we can handle those requests at that time. But I'm not seeing the immediate need for either EJ or I to be on there. But I will defer to Supervisor Crandall.
Yeah, I mean, we were a part of the full visioning forum, and basically when they're finished, they're going to come back to us anyhow. So, I mean, for me, I think it's okay for them to take care of this list or, you know, these recommendations, bring them back to us, because I don't know. I mean, if let's say hypothetically I do join and then I'm basically speaking on the board's behalf or whatever the case may be, I mean, there might be a concern later that I did something of the like. So I'd rather just it come back to us where we could all be together, and I'm not speaking on behalf of all the rest of my colleagues.
Okay. No, I appreciate the response, and I'm okay with moving forward as is. Just wanted to offer that and see, didn't want to take away the work that you've already done to begin with, as that work has been going on for quite some time already. If there's nothing further, let's go ahead and open it up for public comment. Anyone wish to speak on this item? No one from the public in the chamber or the Zoom room. And I think all you need is consensus, or do we want to do it by motion?
I see a recommended motion. So if it's okay, I move to authorize creation of an internal ad hoc committee as described within the staff report and provide direction to staff to review the recommendations of the Lake County Community Visioning Forum Planning Committee.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Rothstein.